New York City hosting the Big Ten tournament. It's semifinals Saturday. Up first, Michigan and Michigan State. Both teams coming in on win streaks. Second game will be Penn State against Purdue. The Nittany Lions upsetting Ohio State last evening here at Madison Square Garden. Great to have you with us. Jim Nance, Grant Hill, Bill Raftery, Tracy Wolfson. The Wolverines at 26-7 overall. They've beaten Iowa in overtime at the tournament. And Nebraska yesterday. Abdur Rahman, the senior who hit 5 threes in the win against Nebraska. The only senior starter between the two teams. Spartans go with 4 sophomores and a freshman. Tom Izzo's team at 29-3, the number 1 seed, after going 16-2 in the regular season. And on the other side, John Beilein is 11th year at Michigan, 40th year overall as a head coach in the collegiate ranks. Gentlemen, 2 teams coming in hot. The last team to beat Michigan State was Michigan.
And you know, of course, during the game yesterday, the Michigan State players were looking for this matchup. Redemption time for the Spartans against a very good, talented Wolverines team.
Jimmy Grant, it's going to be the power and speed of Michigan State and the spacing of Michigan and the ability to dribble drive. If Michigan State does not contain them, they will have a long afternoon.
The officials, Gene Steratore, Lamont Simpson, Larry Scarato, as we welcome you to Game 1 of the Big Ten semifinals. Michigan and Michigan State, interestingly, only playing for the second time in Big Ten tournament history.
Good to have you out of the sun and with us.
Yes, it's great to be back, have the band back together again as we kick off, tip off our little March Madness run right now as we get an opening tip that goes out of bounds, and it's going to stay at this end. So Michigan wins in East Lansing back in January, 82-72. And since that time, the Spartans have peeled off 13 consecutive wins.
The big guy with the basketball is the reason they won there. Moving, screening, and they got a little nickel dimer. The clock didn't start. But I'll give you a little Jim Nance, Grant Hill, little minute early here.
Yeah.
Wagner had a huge game in that first matchup. A nightmare in terms of guarding him. It's going to be interesting to see how Michigan State is able to neutralize him here tonight.
Engaging personality.
Very much so.
He had 27 in that game, a career high. And Nick Ward, who's on him right now, was defending him on that evening as well. So Izzo going to stay with that defensively.
Nice cut. How about this look? Shoes and all.
Passing up the shot, go back outside for the 3, and Simpson hits it.
Rockman is really the juice. He drives the engine of this team. Great find, Simpson. Gets those puppies organized.
And I think for Michigan State, you have to make Wagner work. Go at him inside.
Jackson long with the jumper on the floor, and it's picked up by Wagner, and I say it's tied up. It'll stay here with Michigan State.
And Raph, great back cut, but so unselfish. Rockman finding the open Simpson, who had a great game himself in that first matchup, 16 points, continuing with his hot hand.
The only shortcoming he has, guys, is his free throws. And that's important if this game turns out as we expect. Tight.
Which is inbounds to Winston.
Right now there's a mismatch. You have Simpson on Bridges. Let's see if they can go inside Michigan State and take advantage of that matchup.
You're thinking NBA. They don't do it enough in college. You're right.
Jackson on the baseline. Tough shot. Rolls off the rim and bounces back outside to the Spartans.
Such an important aspect of the game when you play Michigan State. You've got to be tough on the glass.
Michigan State second in the country in rebounding margin.
Nice bottle up here, and look at the cover in the back. This is not his game here. Nice drop step, though, huh?
Ward, he lost control of it on the way up.
Simpson always with the head up. Put pressure on you with the dribble.
Get it down low to Wagner. Over Ward with the jumper.
Can't give him too many of those.
No. He got off to a great start in the Nebraska game, scored the Wolverines' first 8 points, did Wagner.
And he gets a little nickel dimer there, got back a little bit late, got wrapped up with Ward.
And that's important for Michigan State. You have to make Wagner work, like I said. Make him guard and defend on the defensive end. Try to tire out those legs throughout the course of the game.
And Tom Izzo telling all three of us, though, power, get it inside, put a lot of pressure on them. And they do this a lot to save that one foul when you're lean on that bench, particularly up front. You try and save the minutes.
So Teske in for Wagner.
More of a physical player, Teske. Pretty good defender.
Bridges wants it over Simpson. And it rattles out.
There you go.
Outside Ward hits the floor hard. Back on his feet.
Once again, they chase it.
Winston driving around everyone and gets it to go.
And, Coach, you can't give the best offensive team in the Big Ten second chance opportunities. As you said, Michigan has to box out every time defensively.
Simpson driving himself.
Tough, too easy. And that's what hurt them the last game, Jim. The inability to contain the bounce.
He had the far better of it in the matchup against Winston the first time. And Ward, tough shot, but it drops.
Michigan State has made a concerted effort to get the ball in the paint. High percentage shots for the Spartans.
This is Izzo's football mentality, by the way. Pound it, pound it. Maybe even block and tackle on occasion. Livers, great looking prospect.
3-point shot, yes. Matthews.
Well, he was lighting it up early in the year. Kid beats you with the dribble as well.
Jump shot outside Langford. No, Teske with the rebound for the Wolverines.
And that's Langford game, that pull-up jumper.
Simpson splits defenders. Inside and two more.
Too easy. And no help on the wing.
And a steal. Rockman unable to finish it off. Numbers now for the Spartans. Langford from the wing for the three.
Well, they have dodged two open shots, Grant.
Yes, they have. But Simpson is getting to the basket whenever he wants. Is Matthews with a corner jump shot.
Matthews hits a couple of big shots. Michigan 3 for 3 from outside.
This team has become so much better during the course of the year. A lot more confident. Got to get to the free throw line somehow.
Here's Ward underneath, and he's knocked down. And words are exchanged with Matthews. Ward and Matthews separated.
They're from the same state. They got to get along somehow.
Coach Simpson getting to the rim whenever he wants. And, of course, the unselfish play. The swing, and nothing but cash. Michigan right now, oh my, with a great start here early. Feeling good.
Now you feel like it's competition when they start roughing it up a little bit. Ward really aggressive in that particular maneuver.
And Raph, what's so impressive with Michigan is how much better their defense is this year. Beilein not known for having a defensive team, but I think he has better athletes out there on the wing that help them, defend and do a great job as they've done this season.
You're going to be getting a letter from the head coach. No, you're right. Absolutely. They have grown as a team on both ends of the floor, playing with a lot more confidence, a lot more answers set on their lineup now in rotations.
So Ward to the line after the foul on Teske. The last 8 points to Michigan. Both teams headed to their benches like they thought it was the under 16, but not yet.
And Jim, they're checking on that just to make sure there's no extracurricular activities. Well, everybody's delighted to have this Big Ten tournament in New York. Everybody, the crowd, and this is just a little extra. Nothing there.
Nothing there.
This is just a little, if they want to call it double technical, but don't. Let's just go. 3 good officials. They're just going to play, I think. Yeah, that's great. A little extracurricular. He stole my vocabulary.
Yeah. That was Larry Scarrato. Comes over to explain. Ward.
67 free throws in that game that they played.
Tum Tum comes in. Tum Tum Nairns.
And this is the juice on that club. Defensively, be a little harder, I think, for Simpson to turn the corner. That's why he's on the floor. as well as that spirit he possesses.
Got to have it when you're a 3-year captain.
They love him.
It's all the intangibles he brings.
He also, I think, one of the reasons Bridges came back, loved playing with him. They don't have the pick and pop right now.
Matthews pulls up. Not this time. Pulled away by Langford. Gets it at the other end. Jackson driving in. Lost it on the way up. Look at Matthews fighting for it, and he's exchanging words again.
Tell you, this is going to be fun. They are really leaving it all out there, and you can see the long, lanky moves. Jackson came up empty. Little competition right now. Let's go.
Here is the AT&T Fast Analysis.
And Bill, Michigan, their spacing is so good, but what I love is they can all take it off the dribble and create plays for one another.
And you've got to react defensively because they're going to get a layup or you're going to give up 3. It's the shoes. Pink for the season. Same kind of a play earlier this afternoon. Just that really good understanding of how to cut. They get brush screens, keep active, you collapse, and of course the kick, acknowledge by the trade.
Madness is in the air. This is the first of 18 games we'll have between now and April the 2nd, right through the national championship game. Grant, Bill, Tracy, great to be back with all of you. Now, going to the break, there was a technical foul called on Nick Ward of Michigan State on the left side of your screen.
Instead of walking off, you can see him right here. And it cost them. I mean, Tom Izzo right away was really upset, blaming the officials, but the fisticuffs, and of course an outstanding shooter. Oh, about that, Robinson, great stroke, comes up empty.
Robinson with one more. Personal foul was on Jackson, technical on Ward. Let's bring in Tracy. Hello, Trace.
Focus of that timeout for Michigan State was all to calm his team down. He warned them, don't get involved in all the extracurricular activity, especially to Nick Ward. He said, be smart, get your head in the game. We need you, Jim.
Well, it's certainly been intense at the start of this one.
They have gotten after one another. You've seen 3 or 4 incidents.
There's been a lot of little chippiness going on inside, but
it's almost like one of our production meetings.
Yeah. Not quite that intense.
The way they cut puts pressure on you as well if you're looking to help. Once again, Aaron's got to contain Simpson as he did that. Nice kick.
Boy, has this kid been hot. Not this time. Robinson been over 50% for the last month or so.
Well, you're disappointed when he misses it. Such a beautiful stroke.
right now, offensively, Michigan State just looks befuddled out there, unable to really get anything going. Miles Bridges needs to step up now.
He can elevate with his shorter guy. I'd rather see him inside. I think you would too.
No question.
Michigan pushes it up the floor. Rockman gives it up to Robinson.
They got three guys on the perimeter that can really beat you with the bounce. This is going to be a drive, draw, kick.
Back to Teskey.
A little hook game.
Simpson, who has 7, looks for 3 more.
Notice for Michigan, no one crashing the offensive glass.
They're not going to
get back in transition against the Spartans.
McQuaid on the floor. Goins also for the Spartans.
Simpson can jam things up now, be a help with Naren. Not as much of a threat outside. McQuaid can really shoot it, Jim.
Schilling also comes onto the floor out of that last break for Michigan State, which has gone now 3.5 minutes without a basket. Free to shoot. Bridges knows it. Got it!
Oh, boy, that looks like his jumper against Purdue a week ago.
That could get him going. Yes, indeed.
I like him to be a little more aggressive, Grant. He's got some ability.
I agree. I'd like to see Bridges get into the paint or attack off the glass and not settle as much.
Matthews.
Short.
And over the top.
I'll tell you what, great players make great plays, and Bridges hits a big 3 as the shot clock's going down. It looks like he might have got hit on the arm there by Robinson. Let's see here. Yeah. I'll tell you, that shows you his strength right there.
To still follow through and have a stroke like that? Nice little curl. Langford pretty good off the bounce and a pull-up. Nice slip.
Schilling goes back outside with it. Winston on the baseline. Beautiful move.
He has hit big shots this year for the Spartans. He has to come ready to play here, have his imprint on this game to get the win.
Third team all conference. And again, would like to atone for that matchup against Simpson back in January. Simpson had the better of it. Here's Simpson. Hook shot off the glass. Outside it.
Pretty good job.
That hook shot looked like you, Raph.
I did have that. When you can't jump, you got to come up with a gimmick. Nice defense here. They got Simpson, though, a little bit late. Winston sticking those legs out.
Nice baseline hesitation. He froze the defense.
He did.
Attacked and able to get the nice scoop on the layup. Winston's got to be aggressive against this tough defense for the Wolverines.
First foul on Matthews. I'm taking part in Simpson. Stream live, 24/7 highlights, scores, and news. Free across all your connected devices with the all-new CBS Sports HQ. So subs come in, including some of the freshmen that Coach Beeline's excited about, Bill.
Yeah, Poole, a guy that can really shoot the ball deep. Another guy that complements any dribble drive opportunities.
So he gets them all three.
I'll tell you, since that last little dust up, Michigan State
That's a good point.
up here in the Garden.
8-0 run.
They got some shooters on the perimeter now.
Rockmont. McQuaid hits the floor, draws the charge.
Well, you turn your back. Makes it easy for everybody in the house. Well, guys, just great footwork. McQuaid, known as a shooter. Again, this is a problem that Michigan State has had in losses, not containing that bounce.
First foul on Rockmont. 8-0 run for the Spartans. Partner comes over to help out.
Well, great help crossing the back.
Splitting the defenders, trying to force it inside. Michigan comes away with the steal.
Well, not afraid to drill it. You got to get right up on him.
For the Spartans, their defense, underrated. Schilling and Goings in the game. Their activity has caused some problems here for Michigan on the offensive end.
First pick and pop.
And Wagner off the mark. They've missed their last 7 shots now, the Wolverines.
Nice look.
Lob pass, and Schilling is there.
How about that? Gavin lurking. Great draw. And time.
Spartans have their first lead of the semifinal game. Thought about it. Got Schilling to commit. Goes in. And unable to finish the layup. Stolen away, though, by Poole. He'll take the 3. Way off the mark. Robinson fouled on the shot. So the Spartans get that spark you were talking about. Here they come. The number 1 seed. Finding Schilling inside.
The guards make the play, big time. The big guys get the credit. It's the little guy who provides the lift.
Michigan State has scored the last 10 points, and after a tough start, they've turned things around, playing looser. That's been a big issue. Tracy Wolfson, what's the latest on Michigan State?
That's right. I had a chance to speak with Tom Izzo, and he told me he felt the distractions were getting to his team. So this week, he told the media no questions except basketball questions for his team. And he told them they need to play looser. They need to have more fun. He said, take advantage of this opportunity. You've done so much this season. And then he said, let everyone see you smile. Well, you saw a lot of smiles heading back to that huddle after that run, Jim.
Well, this team, he says, is a special group, and they have a chance to do something extraordinary. And he wants to shield them from now having to field any non-basketball questions, as Tracy reported.
Early in the year, Jim, I was out there, and he was saying it's the best group. He hasn't had one problem. But these distractions and the impact it's had, it was very obvious, I think, having done some games. So hopefully this cloud will lift. Everything will get straightened out, and the team moves on.
Robinson got them both to tie the game at 16.
Until those 2 free throws, Jim, Michigan State was on a 12-1 run. So Michigan trying to get back here, some rhythm and momentum here in the first half.
Simmons on the floor now. Transfer from Ohio. You're really not getting as many minutes lately. Find somebody to run the show.
Here's Tillman, who's on the floor for the first time. Loose ball into the hands of Jackson, and he's fouled.
Robinson, I think.
It is.
I think you're right, but did you see how physical the game is in Jaren Jackson Jr. off the bounce? That height with the pass.
Well, they're playing tough.
They're
It's not like you in your Duke days. You know, they're really getting after it. Nice curl, pull up. That's his game right there.
And he delivers it. Langford.
Is there a turn down?
Simmons gives it up. Rockmont will take it inside the lane and goes up high for it off the glass.
And that was a pretty little trip in the backcourt. Don't get back. He can shoot him. McQuaid. Nice side saddle.
Quaid almost got the roll. There's Jackson underneath. Puts it up and it goes.
He is so long, but the white shirts get to the rim. Confident that they're going to protect the backcourt.
Boy, is he an impressive looking freshman. Jaren Jackson Jr., freshman of the year in the conference.
He's a big-time talent. Great defender, shot blocker.
Right now, Michigan's offense a little stagnant.
Pull up, yes.
Big time.
He's oozing with talent right there.
He delivers prospects very bright.
They have the similar haircuts, Coach.
They do. Once in a while, you're not sure who's who.
Tillman goes back outside with it.
Nice mismatch here. Good job by Robinson fighting.
Wade snaps the pass back outside. And the three-point shot is long by Winston. So Michigan's hit buckets the last 2 trips after going 6 minutes without one. And Simmons comes up short. Wagner in the paint.
They got a foul or a jump ball? I think it was a jump. Well, they got a foul. I like the jump ball on that one. Boy, they have been carte blanche going to the rim, though, and that's going to open up the rebounding ability here. Look at all the white shirts, and Wagner, unattended to, gets in position. I guess they got to call it, though.
On Langford.
A couple of arms around you. Occasionally, that should be a foul.
It should be, but Coach, with the spacing and ball movement that we talked about with Michigan, the driving lanes and opportunities are there, and they've been able to take advantage of it, their point guards.
So Matthews returns to the floor. He's hit a couple of threes in this game already.
Middle ball screen.
Wagner goes past Tillman, back outside. Robinson.
Got it.
Boy, you just think it's automatic.
Yeah.
Such a good look.
He's had some great looks thus far.
Jackson steps up, 3. Body's tangled underneath. It's going to be called on the Wolverines. Wednesday on CBS. If you haven't seen SEAL Team, it's time to experience a whole new mission. Wednesday at 9, 8 Central on CBS.
Boy, the big bodies. Kenny Goins that time. Occasionally Tillman. Now Ward back in. Hopefully calm down.
By the way, second foul on Robinson as Michigan State inbounds underneath. They'll lob it back outside to Ward, as you said, just returning to action after being hit with a technical.
I would ride him a little bit, see if you can get Big Mo in some difficulty.
Big Mo has one early foul on him, which promptly put him on the bench for about 5 minutes.
And Ward is begging for the ball right now. He wants that matchup.
The timing's a little bit off.
Bridges. Tough shot. And Wagner pulls it down.
They always push to get plenty of time on that clock to run their stuff. Nothing shows. They're very patient. Pick and slip.
Matthews kicks it corner. Poole buries the 3.
Unbelievable.
That's Livers.
Yeah, the hair kills you.
That's what you said. So Livers, another one, though, the impressive looking freshman out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, and Ward. Well defended, but Jackson dumps it down.
Well, late double really worked, but they didn't seal the deal.
There's Jaren Jackson, senior, who knows a thing or two about playing in Madison Square Garden in a conference tournament. He was here, of course, with Georgetown back in those days in the late 80s.
Remember him well.
I actually played summer league with his dad in the D.C. area in the summers.
You are getting old.
He didn't pass me the ball.
And Mo just a little off, a little short on that stroke. Ward's got him. I don't know why they won't go in, Grant.
Wagner's 0 for 4 from the floor. Here's Jackson. Found an open Langford. Wagner again.
Nice seal.
Clears. Here's Poole. Out of control. Going the other way.
And Raph, when you have multiple guys from Michigan that can make plays, you can get open looks. Matthews gets in to the paint, and Livers from downtown. And of course, you can't teach height, coach. Jackson with his length.
Big time delivery. Send it in, Mr. Jackson.
Jersey Mike's game summary and what's been a physical start to this semifinal action between Michigan and Michigan State.
Raph, right now, the physicality reminds me of Kearney, New Jersey basketball, St. Cecilia action. Both these teams, blue collar, desperate. They want it. They're getting on the floor, getting dirty. That's Big Ten basketball at its best.
The only action we had in Kearney was at the fish and chip store.
Wagner, by the way, who had the career high against Michigan State back in January with 27, has not scored in this one so far.
He's been in and out. Of course, only 7 minutes that he's played. But it's all about the second half, too. Gauging, getting them involved a little. Of course, the dribble drive has eliminated him because they've been able to get to the rim.
I like this lineup when Bridges is at the 4 position. They don't really go to him much in the paint, though.
He comes out here. I know he can make that shot, but you're right. I'd like to see him just take it. Matthews just physically imposing in comparison. Rockman's so good with the dribble, makes open shots. A real gamer.
Here's Simpson.
Much better defense. Langford.
Now Rockman with 6 to shoot.
How about
Tough angle. Wow.
And you have to love the patience of Michigan. Break down the defense. Wait for the opportunity. Rockman with the finish.
Nice help in the back.
Langford. Pretty. Teskey says no. That's 2 blocks for him. Up ahead to Livers.
I thought Simpson came from out of bounds in tough set. The great reaction on the rotation. Chase him off the three-point line. The big fella providing the lift with the block.
Now Matthews. Bridges on him, and Schilling comes over for a moment.
All dribble drive. They're really not running their stuff.
5 to shoot. Here's Simpson, past Langford. Wrap-around pass on the floor, and shot clock violation. Monday on CBS, it's a great night of comedy. Kevin Can Wait, Man with a Plan, Superior Donuts, and the new comedy, Living Biblically. All new Monday, 8/7 Central, only CBS.
And one thing about Michigan is they're comfortable late in the shot clock. They can run it down. Usually, I think Simpson could have taken that layup, maybe had a weak side rebound if he missed.
So Teskey comes out, and Wagner back in. Nairns runs up the floor, gives it up to Langford, now to Bridges. Bridges just 1 out of 5 from the floor. That was the desperation 3 that he made to beat the shot clock. Jackson short with the shot. Follow up, yes.
Unbelievable, his length.
Great length. I love the awareness, though, finding that mismatch, going inside to Jackson.
You got to beat him to that spot, too. Matthews at a disadvantage size-wise.
Over to Wagner. Nice. 4 from the floor.
Nice help by Nairn. Stunting. Ooh.
Matthews takes it. It's long. Langford. Out to Nairn. Nairn's looking for a seam. Gives it up Bridges. And now 1 for 6 from the field. A 5th rebound by Wagner, and over the back of Wagner for the foul on Schilling.
Just right here, you can see the length of this kid. I mean, nice little setup as he seals his guy, and Matt's got to do his homework a little bit earlier. Boy, tough. He can reach right over and grab.
Defensive player of the year in the league as well, not only the freshman of the year.
3+ blocks a game. Amazing. So how many changes besides that?
That length, you can't teach height. Of course, right now, 4 offensive rebounds. You got to keep a body on him on the offensive glass.
Tough shot here. And he doesn't get back. Sort of tries to bait the refs.
Jackson driving in. And the much smaller Simpson on him, and he lost control of it. It goes back to Michigan.
I thought there might have been a little contact on that possession
so
there.
does he, I think. A little frustrated.
But I like Jackson putting the ball on the floor, trying to get to the basket. A little collision there.
A little knee.
He's just a freshman. Freshmen don't get those calls.
My daddy used to give me that call.
It's important right now for Wagner to at least see the ball go through the basket. You'd like to see him hit a shot or two going into halftime, feeling good about himself.
Well, Michigan State's playing much better defense, Jim.
Livers, he stepped.
They've been late in the shot clock, and that time 10 seconds to walk.
4th turnover on the Wolverines. Tight one at the Garden in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. Underway.
Splash. Major Nuggets. Oh, it is win or go home.
The madness right around the corner. A week from tomorrow, Selection Sunday, and Jerry Palm with his latest mock bracket, if you will. He's got Michigan State as a 2 seed out of the Midwest. If they win this Big Ten tournament, that's going to be a resume at 31-3 if they were to win this here in New York. It'd be hard to see them not on the 1 line, wouldn't it?
You usually ask the questions. Which one would you take off the 1 line if Michigan State or Purdue were to win this?
Well, you know, I think that Michigan State, with its regular season record and its win streak, again, this is assuming they would win out here, it would be a lot of things to consider. One thing that this quadrant system that the committee's talking about this year, in talking with Tom Izzo, they have a win early in the season that has been downgraded, if you will, because Notre Dame lost a couple of its key players. But when they beat Notre Dame early in the season, they were the 5th-ranked team in the country. It was a big quality win that doesn't count as a quality win now, the way things are done. And all the analytics. And let's see, this is going to... Well, it's going to stay here with Michigan.
I'll tell you what, you have to love getting on the floor right there. Your big guy, Tillman, diving for the loose ball. You can't tell me Michigan State doesn't want this game, showing the hustle.
And he was on the line, too. You're right. Both of them leaving it out there.
He was on the line.
But Jim, to your point, I like the old way because somebody might be really good in December, lose a kid or two as Notre Dame, and fall apart late in the year. But when you play them, they were in the top 25 or top 30, whatever it was. So, I mean, each year they do tweak it. And I'm sure some people will have some input after this year as well.
Yeah, the short of it is what looked to be a quadrant 1 victory now isn't rated as such.
Right.
And that's the kind of, again, fractions that could make the difference between being on the 1 line or being a 2.
And, of course, Tom said to all of us, he didn't really care.
No, he doesn't. He truly doesn't. He'd like to go to Detroit the first week, you know, if he had a say-so in it, which he doesn't.
It's another one of his Grant's homes. Look at this kid. What a rebound.
Livers.
Nobody checked him out. Came in from the corner. We usually talk about Jim's hometown. That's one of yours.
One of my hometowns, yeah, Detroit. I'll tell you what an athlete in Livers. That rebound was special.
It looked like you in your heyday.
With the similar haircut, too.
3 minutes to go in the first half.
Boy, much better job keeping people outside the lane.
Spin around move on McQuaid and coming over, committing the foul.
And I love that a seasoned player, knowing you're not really involved and active, get to the free throw line, seeing the ball get in the basket, get yourself some rhythm going here late in the first half.
Foul on McQuaid.
He thought of leaving last year. I'm glad he came back for him, for Michigan.
went through that pre-draft combine, if you will, and then decided I'm going to go back to Ann Arbor. Still looking for that first point. Bracket week underway on CBS Sports Network. 3 conference championships and late round games from tournaments all over the country. Don't miss any of the action all week long on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
And Raft, if you had told me 2 minutes left here in the first half, both Wagner and Robinson with 3 points combined, and you're up 1 for Michigan, you know what? Not a bad situation to be in.
Bad position. You know, Jim, someday we're going to be in Berlin, and Mo is going to have a late-night talk show hosted. He'll be the Colbert of...
He could do it. The kid has some personality, doesn't he? His mother's here visiting from Berlin, seeing play for the first time this season.
Interesting. That may be why he's struggling a little bit, too.
Bridges got a 3 to go. So his 2 made shots from both beyond the arc.
He falls in love with the jumper, I think. And he can really go to that rim strong. Got him. Nice.
Got Tillman to commit. Puts up the shot.
That's unusual.
I tell you, Tillman, great recovery contesting there in Wagner.
Nice run to the rim.
Tillman on the dunk.
And Winston. Well, that tastes good to him. Loves to find people.
Timeout, Wolverines. A flurry by the Spartans.
And as you told me at the bar last night, it's the little things that make the difference, Ralph. Tillman getting out and running, you got to reward him with the big finish.
Coming up, AT&T at the half, and Greg, Clark, Seth will have today's highlights, including Xavier looking to secure its first Big East title. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half.
Composure is such an important part of college basketball, and you mentioned Wagner's mom being here. Sometimes takes a while to settle down. Nice cut.
Here's Wagner.
Great footwork.
Working on Tillman. Have to go back outside with it. Bachman with 4 to shoot.
Excellent defense.
Great defense. I'd like to see Wagner maybe face up against the bigger size of Tillman down on the post.
Simpson's really a tenacious and relentless defender. Toughness. There's the string out, the help in the back.
Now with 5 on the clock. Off the glass, never touched the rim.
Ooh,
That's going to Michigan with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go.
Rockman made that play. Man, that was a layup from McQuaid.
Schilling back out. Michigan had a stretch earlier in the half after having that 9-point lead right out of the gates. They went 6 minutes without a basket, and then they got another drought that's over 5 minutes without a field goal.
And overall, I've been very impressed, Jim, with the defensive effort of both teams.
Wagner still looking for that first shot to drop from the field.
Quick timeout.
44 seconds to go here at the Garden. First half. So with this timeout, Michigan's able to bring Wagner out of the lineup so he doesn't commit a second foul. Teske will come in, but Wagner really struggling. 0 for 7, 0 for 5 from 3. Tom Izzo was saying, you know, we're going to try the same approach that we did defensively. Now, we know he went with 27 the first time, but he felt the defense had really gelled since that game 2 months back.
And Jim, it also gelled today. At the beginning, they were letting guys turn the corner and get in the lane. Now they're shutting it off.
Bridges looks up.
Nice stuff. Look at his hands. Under 5.
He's already beat
Another one
once. Can he do it again?
Got to get the rebound.
And it bounces out to Simpson.
Great block out there by Michigan. Long rebounds off of long shots.
That's why you need the guards to pay attention to detail.
Final 10 seconds.
Something going to the rim. Hug your shooters.
Simpson looking for a crease. Rockman with 2. Rockman off the mark, and the Wolverines missed their last 8 shots of the first half.
And you have to give credit to Michigan State. Their defensive intensity, it has picked up, causing all types of problems for Michigan.
And of course, on the catch, they're right there because they don't have to help out on the dribble penetration as they did earlier in the day.
Michigan State #1 in the country in field goal percentage defense, and they hold Michigan 9 of 29 in that first half, just 31%.
And this is a team that can shoot at 47%.
29-26, Spartans lead it at the intermission. Right now, let's go to Greg Gumbel, crosstown here in New York. Earlier this week, as the Big Ten comes to Manhattan, after being in Washington, D.C. last year for the tournament. Let's take a look at the Capital One first half stats. 3-point lead for the Spartans. And guys, what are we going to see here in the second half? We've talked a lot about Wagner being shut down so far. Has not made a shot from the floor, but still Michigan's only down 3 points in this game.
He's really struggled, no question about it.
But of course, for Michigan State, they have struggled too offensively, but they've survived on crashing the offensive glass. 7 offensive rebounds, 8 second chance points has bailed them out.
You might say, Jimmy Grant, that Wagner has to compose a different tune. He is struggling with his shot, rushing them, and that is uncharacteristic. They need him to play his A game. You can see really not a whole lot of good looks. The pick and pop has been taken away.
Maybe he can orchestrate a few early baskets early in the second half and get going. Let's hear from Tracy and the word from both coaches at halftime.
Jim, you were talking about Mo Wagner and his struggles so far in that first half. I asked John Beeline, and he said he's getting good looks. It's just more mental. He just needs to hit one, and then he'll be fine. As for the rest of the team, he said, we are not a jump-back shooting team, and we need to get back to doing what we do. As for Michigan State, Tom Izzo said he likes what he saw from his defense down the stretch, but his offense needs to get going, too, and it begins with Cassius Winston and Miles Bridges. Jim?
All right, so Michigan shooting only 31% in that first half. Michigan State 35%. And both teams come out for the second half, returning their starters to the floor.
And to that point about Michigan shooting, they started the game 5 for 6 from the field, finished 4 for 23. Got to be more efficient on the offensive end.
And Wagner's got to keep moving, particularly with Ward on him. Here he is, nice pick.
Get him an early look. Wagner still can't get it to go.
What a great call. John Beeline, knowing his big guy, he's got to get involved and dominate a little bit.
Now 0 for 8, including 0 for 6 from 3.
String out, zone up in the back. Ward with a little discard.
Bridges stays outside and misses from 3. Here's Rahman.
Nice job when Wagner running the floor, get Ward puffing and puffing if he can.
I think you're right, Raph. Wagner's is in his head right now.
Same play.
Thinking too much. Indecisive right here. He's got to attack.
Challenging Ward. Comes in, puts it up. He'll go to the line.
Well, he's talking to himself just a little bit, too. He's got to relax. I told him if he used any bad words in German, we've got an interpreter. And when you're struggling like that, I'm sure there's some words come across your mind.
Coming off a 20-point, 13-rebound effort yesterday afternoon in the second game of the afternoon quarterfinal doubleheader.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
2 missed free throws here for Wagner.
And he's a guy that, as you mentioned, Jim, a great game earlier up at Michigan State.
Okay, got the second one to go. 2 points on the game. 6 away from 1,000 on his career. Here's Bridges, who went over 1,000 at Michigan State in the first half of this game.
Izzo didn't like the way Ward was playing, giving an opportunity to Wagner. That's why Schilling's on the floor.
3-point shot rattles out for Winston, and Bridges puts it back.
That's where he should be, the power broker. Look at those shoulders, Grant. He could dominate.
Yes, he can. I love seeing him inside.
4-point lead is the largest of the game for the Spartans.
Side to side, using the floor.
Ruckman got away from the defender, puts up the three, buries it.
Nice screen as well by Wagner to set him up.
That was a great offensive possession for Michigan. Everybody touched the ball.
They had missed their last 10 shots from the field before that one. A span of over 8 minutes between buckets.
Livers got to stay at home on number 2, Jackson. Pretty good offensive rebounder.
Here's Bridges.
Split,
goes back outside to Jackson, wing, long. Wagner jumps to the spot. Simpson surveys. He'll wait for his teammates to get down the floor. Now whips it inside, and Wagner's got his first basket.
Well, when you work on a pass, you are into the game. Full extension, a little hook bounce.
Beautifully done and orchestrated by Simpson to get Wagner that long-awaited field goal. Langford. And Simpson goes down low.
And Simpson doing it all right now, playing with toughness.
He's got some fire.
He does. Michigan's had some great point guards in recent years. You think of Derek Walton Jr., Walton Jr. willed his team last year to the Big Ten Conference Championship.
Trey Burke behind before that. Here's Wagner. 2 in a row. 2 straight trips.
He's out. Once he starts expressing himself, he starts to play better.
Langford. Ball tapped around. Schilling had it for a moment. Michigan clears. Snap it up ahead to Ruckman. Last 7 to the Wolverines.
After Wagner's hit those 2 layups, see if he can hit a jump shot now.
That's right.
Sometimes just seeing that ball go through the basket gives us great player confidence.
Pinch post action. He can fake it. He loves that fake handoff.
Turnaround jump shot, no.
He's starting to get in the game, though.
He is.
I'm still looking for Jackson to get an offensive rebound. Then Livers on him. He's getting himself in position. Loves that little pick and pop. There you go. Almost.
He's frustrated as well, unable to convert.
Up ahead, Wagner drives in. How about that? 2 more.
Now that's a real Euro step.
That was, wasn't it?
Michigan has found the rhythm now. Wagner is some easy baskets. Michigan State, let's see if they can answer. I'd like to see Jackson maybe get inside and use his height to his advantage.
I agree. Now Matthew, now give it to him.
Back it in. Great double team. And a whistle.
I think it's on Wagner.
And you talk about skill, you talk about talent. Wagner right here, just a nice easy roll, great pass that got him going, Raft.
Absolutely, playing with a lot more confidence. Starting to assert him. A little kiss by the big fella. And when you get him up and down, hey, I'm from Berlin. I had to do that as a baby. He emotes. He's a different guy.
Good one going on right now at the Garden in New York. And after this, Penn State and Purdue in the other semifinal. The Nittany Lions upsetting the 2nd seed here, Ohio State, last night.
You see some guards who can play.
I love Carson Edwards for Purdue and Carr for
like
Penn
Carr.
State. Wow, 6'5", can do it all.
I said this last night. You compared him to Sam Cassell in
Yes.
the way that Carr can back people in. I said Walt Frazier, which tells you the difference in our age.
Had something to do with being in the Garden, I'm sure.
That's true.
It's a 10-2 start to the second half for Michigan. But Jaren Jackson Jr. at the line for a pair for the Spartans. The freshman from Carmel, Indiana. And there again is his dad, Jaren, who's a high school coach and won 2 Big East tournament titles as a member of the Georgetown Hoyas back in '87 and '89.
When Big John was dominating. You considered Georgetown too.
That was your team.
I did, grew up in the area. Huge Hoya fan. Remember those Alonzo Mourning, Mark Tillman, Jaren Jackson.
And your
Boy,
buddy,
paranoia.
wasn't your buddy in Michael in the backcourt?
Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
a few years earlier.
From your high school, though.
From the same high school, yes, indeed.
And you wore 33 at Duke because of?
Well, because, first of all, Christian Laettner wore 32, but because of Patrick Ewing, as Robinson gets to the rim and to the free throw line. But Patrick Ewing, growing up as a fan, was my hero, and I tried to play like him. Wasn't as big, wasn't as strong.
He's really done a nice job, by the way, as a coach. He has
Fantastic job.
They improved during the course of the year. Apparently, they've got some nice recruits coming in. But he has taken the bid, as they say. He gets into the game.
Not a foul on Tillman, puts Robinson back at the line. Patrick Ewing, big part of the history inside Madison Square Garden.
Not a bad player.
Not a bad player. I think 3 Final Fours. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Championship in 1984.
And he led by example. Nobody worked harder, they tell me, Jeff Van Gundy, in practice or games. So it was easy for the others to follow suit.
Helped take Georgetown his freshman year to New Orleans. With that North Carolina
for
finale.
a title, not to rub it in.
Yeah, no, I was trying to stay away from that in 84 in Seattle. Here's Tillman, up high with it.
This kid's going to be a player. He's got the physique to post up. You can see it's interesting when you watch games. They go inside and then they get away from it.
Right.
You know, coaches want them to do it. They just rely on their own individual ability instead of the philosophy.
Teskey on the floor for Wagner. Shot outside, long rebound. Comes to Winston. Bridges, stutter step move on the baseline, put it up, long with it.
Bridges continues to struggle. Mid-range game has not been going.
Nice hold on by Teskey. Carte blanche on the dribble drive.
Matthews' first points since early in the game when he had a couple of threes. Got 8 for the game.
They are right there on the catch. Number 20 can drill it.
And Winston's got a pick. Can't do anything with it.
And Simpson really did a great job containing here.
Fade away with 3 on the clock. And that's Robinson battling for the rebound.
So Robinson really, he drove the last time because he can shoot the basketball. It was a pick and pop to him.
Simpson gets tied up. Reaching in, Goins.
Goins doing a great job helping there, reaching in. Luckily not called for a foul on this play, but definitely causing a turnover there. Stifling defense, help side for the Sparks.
Makes the defensive gym and gets the ball back off the arrow. Wagner on the floor again.
And Bridges has gone out of the game for the Spartans. Coach, you've seen a lot of Michigan State this year. Do they ever go small with Bridges and Jackson?
When Ward gets in foul trouble, basically.
I just wonder with Michigan and how they play, the matchup might be for the Spartans to go small at times against the versatility of this Michigan team.
Ward can be a tough out, though, in that low box when he gets those opportunities.
With Robinson fronting inside against Jackson.
Look at this D.
Simmons defending.
A little nickel dimer. And Simpson, I thought, gave lateral motion, a little belly bump.
Guarding the ball, pressuring the basketball, nothing easy, being so disruptive.
That's Simmons, I should say.
Yeah.
What was John saying today? Over 43 years, high school and college.
It's a head coach.
Yeah.
40 at the collegiate level.
And 3 in high school, I think he said.
And still seeing the game evolve.
Now his son's following suit.
Well, he just says, talking with you, a couple of coaches discussing how the game just changes. You still learn new things.
I was so impressed. I said I'll get back to it in a second.
Cool. Needs help. Got Robinson.
Oh, we should have just kind of used the rim and laid it up.
There's Winston driving in. No contact. And again, it's Michigan.
Nice hands.
Right back with it. Winston.
Boy, you got to be tougher with the basketball. Poole gave it up.
Rockman. Boy, is he shooting lights out in New York.
On the catch. He is a gamer, that kid. So many things he does for this team.
Well, he's 5 for 5 from 3 yesterday. He's hit a couple today. Got 10 on the game.
Boy, that exchange in the back has been flawless for Michigan. Nice hands.
We'll stay with Michigan State with 8 to shoot.
And he is the guy, Rockman from Michigan, keeping this team alive, knocking it down from deep. This senior wants it, letting it fly, and able to convert.
Back in the Garden with Michigan up 5. Let's take a look at the AT&T fast analysis.
There's so many things. They pick and pop or they pick and roll. You got to acknowledge the roll man defensively. And what a wraparound pass by Simpson.
And ball movement, player movement leads to the open shot. Rockman not afraid of the moment, calm and steady, playing big here in the Garden.
First of 2 today. Purdue and Penn State. Next up.
Jim, on the way over here, Grant had an interesting comment about playing in the Garden, what you were like.
No question. I played here many times, and you got so excited. There's such an electricity, energy in this building. I had to almost calm myself down, not get too excited here in this atmosphere.
I've got something to calm you down later tonight.
There's Bridges. Trying to keep it alive. Winston.
Nice pass.
To McQuaid. Robinson, he gets past him. Hits the shot.
Well, he has become so good at that. A little pump. Matthews with the blow by and a side saddle delivery.
If I'm not mistaken, Raft, your last college basketball game was in the Garden.
Thank you very much for bringing it up.
There's Matthews. Flips it around. Robinson trying to answer back, and he does.
Now that was set up by his ability to drive earlier. Whew, what a stroke.
Bridges, yes.
There you go.
And, Coach, that's what I'm talking about for Bridges. Off the dribble. Don't bail out the defender with the jump shot. And, of course, on the previous possession, he was able to get off the dribble, not settle. And look, if I'm guarding Bridges, I can live with him making and taking jump shots. But getting to the paint and putting pressure on the defense, that's when he's effective.
Nairn back into the game for Michigan State. And one free throw coming for Bridges.
That was nice how he crossed over, too.
Nice.
Robinson's weight went forward. Took advantage with the shoulders. There you go.
Put
He's
it up
out.
quickly.
Yes,
he is.
He just looked at his mom, like, by the way. How's the guy just waving to her? This is the real me, Mom.
Yeah, Mom. Thanks for being patient with me. Now defending here on Jackson. The freshman lost it in the lane.
Wow, wow.
There's going to be a foul call on Wagner.
I don't know.
Great ball movement. The ball finds energy, and right now Wagner has plenty of that as he celebrates.
You don't stick your tongue out at your mother,
No,
do you?
no.
That's joy.
Okay.
That's not being disrespectful. There you go. And not a good entry from there, though. You got to go to the side.
It's off Bridges.
And then to throw to the right hand, too.
Or throw it up high. You have a smaller guy guarding the post defender. Throw it up high to Bridges. Let him use his athleticism from that angle, if you choose.
It is a lost art, by the way. Even reading where the pass should go. Not what they want.
Matthews takes it inside, but outside a foul first on Bridges.
And what's amazing, Jim, you have so many guys on Michigan that can take the ball off the bounce, get into the paint, and with their spacing and shooters defensively, you have to make a decision.
Great point. They got a horn issue.
Yeah, right on the inbounds pass.
But the last few whistles, though, have been of the nickel dime variety, haven't they? Come touch place.
Had to reset the shot clock to 20. Gene Steratore all over that. He, of course, was the referee in Super Bowl in Minneapolis.
I've said this often. His dad refereed my games. Gene didn't speak to me the first couple of years. We used to get a little excited.
Got on the officials, huh?
Occasionally. Your coach never did.
Wagner.
Look at the handle. He does. Oh, tough shot. He makes it.
You just felt it, though, didn't you? Wagner with 10 points in the second half. After only 1 in the first.
I've seen him with that maneuver to behind the back, his specialty. And just as Grant had said, nobody around because of the spacing. Nice pass.
It's Bridges.
There you go.
And that's the power move you're looking for. Plus, he had the size on Rockmont.
I love how he went quickly. Didn't allow the double team to come. Spun baseline and used the explosiveness there at the basket.
Matthews driving around the Spartans, and he is fouled.
And Grant, to your point, they continue with that bounce because there's plenty of room to roam, and they're pretty effective.
But what happens is they're moving the ball so much from side to side, it opens up those opportunities. And good things happen when you get into the paint. Obviously, Matthews now getting to the free throw line.
Second foul on Bridges. Matthews, a transfer from Kentucky. Played there in 2016, set out last year.
Had a great start in the year, built his confidence. He struggles a little on free throws.
Tuesday on CBS, come on down for an episode that will keep you guessing. The Price is Right hosts Drew Carey guest stars on a powerful new NCIS. That's Tuesday, 8/7 Central on CBS.
And right now, Wagner went out. Under 9 minutes left in the game. Let's see if Michigan can maintain this lead with their big man's on the bench. It's so critical and important to them here in the second half.
Back up to 6. 8.5 remaining. Winner advances to the Big Ten Tournament Championship game tomorrow. There's Bridges outside. And he's wanting it now.
And a nice call again. Tom's put him in great position. A little pin down by the point guard. Just a little pop and delivery.
Simpson looking for a lane and finds it underneath. Shot. Teskey with the rebound and a whistle on Michigan State.
But again, the ability to dribble. But look at this little play now. Just a little pass. Set your man up. How about that? Simple, right? But I think because he scored inside, that was got a little flow, a little confidence.
Second foul on Xavier Tillman.
And right now, Michigan State, they've gone and moved Bridges to the power forward position. See if he can take advantage of getting inside to the paint and mixing and matching a little bit more offensively.
Robinson Nairn, too. Now he might be able to elevate if they get it to him. Post up. Kid is tough. Just knows how to play.
Son of a coach. Allentown, Pennsylvania area.
A little pin down series, baseline rubs. He can elevate again. He wants a clear turnaround jump shot.
Bridges takes it into the paint.
Or hook.
Oh.
He can do that, either hand.
Got the shot he wanted.
Yeah. Look at this kid. What a blow by. How about that?
Once again, Teskey setting that screen on the rescreen, giving a lane to the basket for Simpson.
We talked about Michigan getting better, Jim. I think it's Simpson's gotten so much better running the team.
It's very patient. Simpson attacking the rim with the fantastic finish. And Izzo frustrated with this team. Can they get back in it? We'll see.
In New York, Jim Nance, Grant Hill, Bill Raftery, Tracy Wolfson. Michigan plus 10 in the second half after being down 3 at the intermission.
By the way, dinner's on me.
I think I
Those
just
hot
saw
dogs, yeah, I'll pick that one up for the whole crew.
I'll see it when I believe it. But as for Michigan in the second half, they're shooting 67%. They obviously made some adjustments with their offense, moving the ball from side to side a little bit more. And then the rebound disadvantage at halftime. Now they're up 6 rebounding-wise. So Michigan taking control here in the second half as Wagner has checked back in.
Nice pass. Ward goes to the other side.
Well, they found a way to score. Now they got to do a job at this end. They're being stretched out defensively. And once again, that dribble opportunity prevails for Michigan.
Robinson.
They know he can drill it.
Wanting to take it all the way. Ooh. Steps in, and there's a foul on the side of the head.
Well, he worked on that particular move. All right, sizzling. You get him hot when I pick up the check, let me tell you. Nothing but the best for you two guys.
Can't wait. Michigan in front 54-49 with 6.5 to go. And what a difference we've seen in the second half for the Wolverines and one player in particular.
Jim, Wagner has been huge here in the second half. Struggled early in the first half. Got some easy baskets inside. Knows how to manufacture baskets in multiple ways. And once you see the ball go through, now the jump shot starts falling as he rains it down from 3.
His mother came all the way from Germany, and that's all she got in the first 20. Finally showed up.
She was in Washington last year for the Big Ten tournament, which, of course, Wolverines won, and they went on to the Sweet 16 in the tournament.
Phenomenal story, right, last year.
Oh, remember they had the plane accident on takeoff from Ann Arbor, and thankfully, blessedly, no one seriously hurt. And then they came on into Washington and went right through the tournament field and won their first championship as Matthews. This is their first Big Ten tournament title since the first one, which was 20 years ago this year in 1998. Robert Tractor Trailer was the player who led them to that title in Chicago over Purdue.
Big wide body. One of the great names too. Double high.
Ward made a move last time down the floor, not this one. Robinson comes down to get it.
Credit the defense. Wagner there walled him up well, did not foul, contested Ward on that shot.
John Beeline's got football signals on the sideline. Nice
block by Ward.
Wagner's done a nice job early work on a defensive end. It's a good angle on the denial. Here he shows. They don't cover in the back.
Oh, Ward! He was looking for contact.
That's the first time they didn't cover. Matthews fell asleep.
And a foul on McQuaid with the body. So Ward misses the easy one.
This is just a play where they've been rotating all day beautifully. And, boy, that's right in your wheelhouse, huh, big fella?
He gets rewarded for that miss. Going to the bench. Tom Izzo not happy with that point-blank range. You got to convert.
1-1 for Robinson.
You have a nasty side.
And he, too, became a 1,000-point scorer as of yesterday in the game against Nebraska. He reached that milestone.
My guess is he's an inferior student, though. Exeter, Williams, and Michigan. What do you think?
Yeah. How about that? Transfer from Williams.
Right now that Michigan makes a substitution, I think looking for defense at the small lineup to match up as Livers comes in the game for Robinson.
He's got some size on McQuaid, too. Matthews, interesting, this matchup right here. I'm glad they go right to it. I just think that's a mismatch made in heaven.
That is too easy for Michigan State. He can get that every time. Great call by his own.
Final 5 minutes. Winner to go to the finals of the Big Ten tournament.
Now, this is the end. They got to button down Michigan State. Look at this kid's handle and a foul. They're going to say before.
Oh, the other way.
I thought he was held first before he did it.
You know, it looked like Simpson might have. It did grab the hands of the defender Langford as he turned the corner. Great move and just kind of grabbed him to hold him off. Great call.
Good eyes.
I know, because I used to do that.
But now that's it. Oh, you didn't get called for it, though.
Beeline saying Grant Hill used to get away with that.
I know Simpson's playing very well. He's no Grant Hill, though.
Who is?
No, that's true.
You know?
And I think we can learn from this last possession, some kind of movement, a little curl action, give Bridges the ball close to the basket. He can't be guarded.
Nice job reposting by the big guy. Now, this is where you want him to catch it. Now you got to make them work. See if they break down and they got the little nickel dimer, didn't get the one bar.
And give Michigan credit. They switched that little curl screen, put Livers in a position to front the post, causing Bridges to go off and catch it. But just got to play good defense without fouling down there on the block.
That's the first on Livers, and Robinson, who was just out for a brief moment, will come in to replace Livers.
Pretty good denial here. You got to get ready. There's that same size disparity.
Great double team by Wagner.
A nice cover to back by Robinson.
To Bridges. Drives again.
Tough catch.
Tough catch, but he made it. Got it outside the Langford. That's wide of the mark.
It looked like Wagner might have got away with a hold there as Tillman was going for that offensive rebound.
Well, the whole bench was in an uproar.
Michigan State just 4 out of 18 from 3.
And they are so patient they can shorten this game. You got to be solid each trip on defense if you're Michigan State.
Wagner got Tillman to leave his feet. Splits the defenders and will shoot a pair.
How about we switch to the left hand too?
Great skill by Wagner. Michigan holding on. Michigan State fighting.
AT&T.
Whatever it takes to win a Big Ten tournament title in New York City. And the tournament next year, by the way, will be going back to the Midwest to Chicago. Rutgers was the host team of this tournament. It was the 14th seed and won a couple of games. And it was pretty feisty last night with Purdue.
Oh, great effort. The guards were phenomenal. Sanders just lighting it up. Great competition.
Steve Peichel, the coach there.
He is a keeper, Jim. He's done
He knows how to rebuild.
Of course, Stony Brook did a great job. Played for Jim Calhoun, one of your old buddies.
He had some success inside the Garden, too, back in the old Big East tournament days for Peichel. Tuesday on CBS is the game-changing season that keeps getting better with every episode. Michael Weatherly in a new bowl. That's Tuesday after NCIS on CBS. There's Jaren Jackson Jr. He hasn't been playing all that much in this second half.
No, I mean, in fact, they went to a power kind of a game.
Really, and Tillman's done a decent job and probably contributed to why. But right now, Izzo's gone to this small lineup with Jackson and Bridges as their bigs to see if they can capitalize on the offensive end.
And Matthews knows it's going to come his way.
19,812 sold out for this final 3.5 minutes of the first semifinal game of the Big Ten tournament as Bridges goes outside. McQuaid hit a big one yesterday. He's got one here.
How about the patience of Bridges? Didn't load up, found his partner, got him organized, and knocked it in.
Michigan has a tendency to lull you to sleep how they execute their offense. Maximum concentration defensively for the Spartans. You have to get a stop on this possession.
This is their way of shortening the game, and they're pretty good come late shot clock. A lot of guys can make shots or dribble drive.
And 4 to shoot. Bachman over McQuaid. Tough shot.
Oh, goodness. A squisher.
Goodness.
A squisher.
The old thud shot. Woo. That's huge. Back up to 8.
Oh, going the other way.
Allen Bridges.
Well, he got frustrated. And who is it but Rockman?
Rockman getting it done on both ends. Defensively, and that last possession, wow. But look at this, fighting in low, frustrating Bridges. Extending his arm, Miles Bridges. Didn't really have to in that case.
Got the hand right there. Choppers.
And that last three-pointer by Rockman, that was a case of living right there.
No question. Tum there and back on the floor. He reaches in on Simpson.
They do that. He did this the last game too, Jim. He's not known as a great free throw shooter. I think he ended up 5 for 10 in that game from the free throw line.
Well, Michigan State's going to have to mount a little comeback. They had an epic comeback just a few weeks ago against Northwestern. 27 down.
Unbelievable, right?
Incredible.
That's one of the amazing stories of the year.
So here we got 51%. He starts off to the side like he's taking it off the rack.
There you go.
Tracy, over to you.
It's a bit strange the way that Xavier Simpson throws the ball and bounces it to the side of him. Well, I spoke with John Beilein, and he told me the key was they wanted him to shoot over his right shoulder. And the way to do that is dribbling over your right foot. And so in turn, he morphed it to dribbling on the side, Jim.
Well, he got 1 out of 2, and ups the lead to 9. As Winston goes back out.
And this is where they're good at making you take your... Oh, that's a tough shot. It doesn't go. Yeah, impatient. Look at the numbers here.
They got out of a jam, and they lob it. Bridges steals it. Up ahead, Winston to the corner. McQuaid. Here we go.
How about that? And a timeout.
That just ratcheted up the intensity in this building.
All because of a little glamour. Not a good pass leads to an open 3. McQuaid, big time.
Friends.
And Michigan had a golden opportunity here as they managed to get the ball down the court. Had great numbers, a 2-on-1 Matthews, an ill-advised pass. Got to take that extra dribble. And of course, that leads to the corner 3 for McQuaid. A 5-point swing for the Spartans. Not good play there for Michigan.
Matthews not a decision maker either. You know, you didn't have your guard's hand, dribble at him a little bit, draw that D, or bring it back out. You got control of the game.
Could have been a knockout blow on that fast break. Instead, it's down to 6. Approaching 2 minutes. Simpson gets it into Wagner. And he's bumped with the body. Jackson.
And I'm not sure if Tom Izzo wanted Jaren Jackson Jr. to foul Wagner. Obviously, Simpson is a 50% free throw shooter, but Wagner more than capable of stepping up.
70. Did you go to the line early like he just did? Just curious.
No, I didn't. I'd wait till the official threw the ball to me to go to the line.
You were making sure your check cleared before you got to the free throw line.
Wagner with now 13 in the second half.
Different guy, right? This half.
It's been impressive how he has just stayed in there and kept sawing wood and being productive.
And 15 for the game.
Need some quick hitters. Conversely, force a little delay on this end.
McQuaid step back. Ooh, try to bank it home.
I don't know if he meant that.
Don't have to foul right now for Michigan State.
Just play tough.
Play tough.
And they're going to give it up early.
Bridges sends Matthews over.
Well, he's one of the guys that they would foul, though. Around 53%. Coach Simpson, we mentioned, struggles as well. Because that's probably designed early. Discussed.
It's a 4th foul on Bridges. So Matthews, 11 on the game, 3 out of 4 at the line, 55% for the season.
And Bill, you're right. I mean, I think following the scouting report, knowing who's out there, not good from the free throw line, Simpson, Matthews.
Got to get the legs in it too. Very stiff.
Too good a shooter.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, they've done a nice job on Winston.
Jackson. Long rebound, Simpson hitting the head. And that's going to be it for Bridges. That's going to be his 5th.
Give credit to Simpson getting inside, boxes and elbows, rebounding at the point guard position, and Bridges reaching in.
That's not a normal pat in the head either.
Not at all.
You're going to have a headache tonight.
Yes, he will.
Xavier Simpson is one tough guy. I think single-handedly, in terms of growing as a team, he's the one that's bought into the philosophy of that guy who's been around for a long time, John Beeline. You mentioned his son Patrick earlier, Jim. Playing the Northeast 10 championship against
Playing right now.
Three St. Anselm's they're playing against. Patrick, of course, backcourt. Mike Gansey for West Virginia. And he was talking about Pittsnogle today.
For the old 2005 West Virginia team that he took out to the West Regional. Ended Chris Paul's collegiate career before Louisville beat them in that regional final. So 17 points and fouling out as Bridges. It's interesting, yesterday Michigan State was the noon game, the first game up. Took care of business there against Wisconsin in a tight one. And then after they did the post-game pressers and got changed, they came out and watched the rest of the first half of the Michigan-Nebraska game. A lot of people looked at that as a signal, like, as Winston's fouled.
But I don't know. How about Simpson's footwork there on that defense? I mean, that's amazing. I know they called the foul at the end, but he can scoot like your old buddy, Bob Hurley. Remember, he used to keep guys ahead of him?
His ability to pressure the ball without fouling.
Look at this kid.
Moving his feet, not fouling.
That's unbelievable.
I'm not quite sure where the foul was.
I think they gave it to the big guy.
But Winston has really struggled. Give Simpson credit.
2 shots for Winston. So Michigan State's watching the Michigan game yesterday, fellas, and some folks thought that's Michigan State saying, hey, we want you guys. You beat us last time, okay? So we're going to be here waiting for you if you win this game. And they were rooting to see Michigan again and try to atone for the loss back January 13th. But some Michigan players were asked about in the locker room after the game. They said, well, they don't understand. We want them too. Okay? Talk about the toughness, Bill.
You may regret what you want too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
This is a team that just kept improving all year long. Well, the ref miscue on the pass.
Turnover.
Jeans lost his ability.
Robinson able to get to it.
They're trying to give him now.
Robinson drives into the paint. He's shoved from behind it. It still gets the basket.
How good was that? Showtime. Well, they have a following, no question about it, but a guy that can shoot it, light it up. Some strength by the 6'6" forward. How about him? What's he do with his mouthpiece when he goes like that? He is amazing.
Gotta love the emotion, the passion, the celebration from the bench.
By the way, that's Poole. He's got some dance moves. I've seen him in layup lines with the music. He can go with the best of them.
And give credit here to Michigan, their defense, keeping this offense under 60 points with a minute left.
And there it is again. Simpson containing.
Jackson with a 3. And foul committed by Langford.
92%. This guy going to the line. Pretty good 6-man, wouldn't you say?
6th man of the year in the conference.
Yep.
Fantastic.
But as of the last month or so, he's been a new player.
He has. Well, they have too, collectively, I think, from watching games. Very spirited, great attitude. I think their defense is one of the, and you mentioned early in the game, John is really known as, creative, imaginative on the offensive end. But his defense has certainly improved a great deal.
10 in the second half for Robinson. He's 13th for the game. And that's going to stay with the Spartans.
When you talk about defense, Wagner getting out there and showing, getting his hand in there, trying to get a deflection. That's the difference. Collectively buying into the team defensive philosophy.
And he just talked to referee, well, they can, under 2 minutes, who went out of bounds. Wagner said it wasn't off of me.
I think it went off Winston. Not seen a replay here.
Big Dwayne there in the background. Stevens, longtime assistant.
I tell you, this crowd here in the Garden, I feel like I'm in Ann Arbor right now.
Yeah. Here's the play they're reviewing.
I think he's right.
I thought it hit his leg there.
He did. I think he's right. That's an easy call.
How many big guys that high can slide their feet?
What did it touch the leg?
Well, maybe not.
Maybe we'll get him on bold. I mean, he's ideal witness. What do you think? Great how he could shut off that first half, though. I'm sure anybody who's played, has had those days. It's tough to re-energize, isn't it?
It is tough. Also considering they played yesterday, a quick turnaround, but Wagner able to flush that first half and come out and be productive on both ends of the floor. Guys, I just can't tell from that angle here.
I think it's actually going to stay.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think you're right.
Initially, I thought it was off his knee from one angle.
Yep, he's going to stay with the Spartans.
I think Wagner wanted a little blow there, maybe.
And he's still yapping with the officials.
He's a chirper.
He's a chirper. He's a young Raft.
He's got a long career ahead of him before he jumps over here, don't you think?
That is true.
There's what you said earlier. Good help out.
Jackson, what a move. Wow. Hits a 3 the last time down to 4. This time drives in for 2.
Too many people in the mix.
Timeout, Michigan.
Oh, everybody cutting the same direction. Overload.
Down to 7. 44 seconds in the Garden.
I have to tell you something.
Packed house at the Garden with 44 seconds to go. Michigan trying to move on to the championship game. That would be their 4th game in 4 days.
And right now, Michigan State, you don't need to foul right away. Try to get a good hard trap on that first inbounds pass, maybe a steal. But if they get the ball over, you're going to have to foul in the front court.
And John's got more bodies out of there. The old-time play. Jack Ramsey used to run to St. Joe's, step out of bounds.
Up ahead, Simpson. Simpson got fouled.
Ooh.
That's the man they wanted to put on the line before he gave it up to Wagner.
He tried to get rid of it, didn't he?
He did. A little hot potato action there, but Jackson
took a little bit of a hit, too.
He did.
He's all business out there.
Back to that unique approach.
There you go. That's a lover kid. Keep getting better. Despite the odds.
Michigan's been a +12 with that made from the free throw line, so their aggressiveness here is paying off.
If he forgets to dribble on the side, do you think he has to run drills in the morning?
Probably so.
Good for you.
All net on both. Livers back in for Wagner.
Now with Livers out there, you can switch a bunch of positions here defensively for the Wolverines.
He is long, too.
Winston launches the long one. Nowhere close, and Simpson will head back for 2 more.
You gotta love this kid. Obviously doing a fantastic job here from the free throw line, but I love the fact he's had 8 rebounds, getting inside, showing his toughness at the point guard position.
And Jimmy sort of set the tone when you think about early in the game, driving to the rim and loosening up their offense. And he continued to improve in the defensive end. Tough kid.
Yeah, the first 10 trips down the floor, he made some big plays, established the upper hand. He's made 3 in a row now. Now you look at Michigan State, 30 seconds to go, down 10. Could be looking at, if they get that Detroit site the first week of the tournament, that's a Friday, Sunday site. They're talking 13 days before they'll play again.
If they don't go there, they may go to Pittsburgh. Is that it?
Yeah, and it could, just move it up by a day. But where do you go on the rest versus rust argument?
Well, he was telling you he thought maybe take them out west, do something like that. But now,
well,
that's classy.
Yep.
That's classy. That's real classy.
And to think that Iowa gave them fits in the first game on Thursday, pushed them to overtime.
Test.
And now they're going to have their 4th game in 4 days as they try to pull off back-to-back Big Ten tournament championships. Michigan wins it by 11 to advance to the final.
Impressively.
They did it with their defense, their toughness, confidence oozing out of this ball club. This is a different Michigan team. The athleticism on display.
You have a guard that played like Simpson and a forward that played like Big Mo. You're in business.
The Wolverines beat Michigan State for the 2nd time this season in 2 tries, ending the Spartans' 13-game win streak and advancing the Michigan win streak to 8 in a row. And a slot in the final tomorrow. Michigan to take on the winner of Penn State Purdue, which will be next on the floor.
They got a lot to be happy for. Keep growing as a team. You don't want to play them come another 10, 12 days, do you?
Getting hot like they did last year at the same time.
Yeah. Very similar, but the defense this year, wow, so impressive. The defense can help you go far in the tournament.
All right, Tracy's with Coach Beeline and Mo Wagner. All yours, Tracy.
You got it. Thanks a lot, Jim. And Mo, let me start with you. And all the talk was about Michigan State coming in to try and get revenge, but you guys had something else on your mind. How did you come in with that toughness today?
I think we're just a team that focuses on ourselves, plays within ourselves, and know when we do the things well that we usually do well, we're going to succeed. So we're very confident, believe in ourselves, all the rest don't matter.
Just a different second half for you after 1 point in the first. What was the difference? What did this guy over here say to you in the locker room?
I said, are you going to make a shot sometime? That's what I said to him.
Told me I suck, so I stepped it up.
Coach, what can you say about this team? The difference is their defense, and it certainly showed today.
Well, let's give a lot of credit here to these guys individually. We got guys with a defensive mindset that's really helped us, and then our assistant coaching staff has done a great job. Luke Yaklich has done a great job just talking it. These guys know it, but they're really willing to do that, and that's really made us step up when sometimes we're offensively, we're clicking. That's been consistent now for about a month.
On to the Big Ten championship once again, but how hard is it to allow them to celebrate this, but then move on to the next game?
Yeah, well, we got 2 great teams where we could be playing, but we didn't ever beat Purdue. We were very fortunate against Penn State, right? So I don't know who's going to win that game. I really don't care just now. I'm just happy for these guys, and this is a big Michigan crowd right now.
Did you feel like you were in Ann Arbor?
I felt we were close to Ann Arbor. There's some good Spartan fans here, too, but Michigan, you can really hear them today.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations, Jim.
All right, Tracy, yes, a lot of support in the building for the Wolverines. You can feel it. They have knocked off the team that was number 2 in the polls to advance to the Big Ten Finals tomorrow. Coming up, it's Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance. And then we're back with semifinal number 2, Penn State and Purdue. Michigan advances, and this has been a presentation of CBS Sports.